Hey brothers and sisters, welcome back to the Behavior Revolution. I'm Hunter. Our story of redemption starts in the Garden of Eden, where mankind lived in peace and perfection. Then the devil came and tricked them. So for around 4,000 years from Adam, right until Yahusha, the second Adam, a blood sacrifice was introduced to the mindset of mankind as atonement for sin. And sin is disobedience to Yahuah's instruction of how to live. The devil introduced sin to Eve by lying to her, which confused her into wrong behavior, and he did the same to Adam as well. And this is where Yahuah introduced a slaughtered animal as a blood sacrifice to atone for their disobedience, but they still had sin in their body which passed into their children. This sin was carried in the very fabric of mankind, right up to the time of Noah, where the world was so full of violence that mankind had to be destroyed. Then, even after the global flood, sin became dominant again through Nimrod and his wife. Then Yahuah told Abraham to leave Babylon because he was going to destroy that city. Abraham's belief was tested to see if he would sacrifice his only son as an offering or not. And Abraham was obedient and was stopped by Yahuah just as he was about to plunge the knife in. And the place where Abraham did this is right where Jerusalem stands even today. Here is where Yahuah introduced the pattern of his plan for his only son. Yahusha, Messiah, destroy the power of the devil, take back the keys of death and destruction, and make atonement for the sins of mankind, delivering them the choice of eternal life. Jumping back to the time of Moses, where Yahuah miraculously delivered his people from Egypt. Yahuah presented himself to his people as a mighty power on the mountain, and he gave his people a new covenant and instructions of how he wanted them to build the tabernacle and how they were to worship him. So when the tabernacle was completed and the animals' sacrifices were offered for the blood atonement, the tabernacle was cleansed and Yahuah could dwell amongst his people. The massive fire rising from the tabernacle at night was a miraculous sight which scared the surrounding nations. Watching, they knew that Yahuah had devastated Egypt, which they did not want to experience. They could see his presence in the fire at night and the cloud during the day. And these nations knew that their false idols did not manifest with such power. Don't forget, this went on for 40 years. What a marvelous and miraculous experience. All this time, Yahuah was preparing his people to understand his plan of the coming of his son, Yahusha, Messiah, who would set up his new kingdom and vanquish all of his enemies. At any rate, the Jews crossed the Jordan River and conquered the land of Canaan. King David brought the Ark of the Blood Covenant back to Jerusalem, which an enemy had stolen, and they were being devastated by Yahuah's presence. So they sent it back to David. Yahusha revealed to David not to return the ark to Moses' tabernacle, but to set up a new tent, open to all nations for praise. David was told to make sacrifices of continuous praise day and night by the priests with singing and playing of instruments. And here Yahusha introduced a new thing which followed over into Solomon's temple. Here we have animal sacrifices with praise, and worship going on day and night in Solomon's temple. Yahuah is progressing on with his future plan. And can you guess where this pattern plan will find its culmination? Sadly, Solomon gave into idolatry and died, and the presence of Yahuah left the temple, never to return again. The ark was lost, and Yahuah would only speak to his people through the prophets now, announcing the coming of Messiah to rule this world. Then Yahusha came 400 years after Solomon with a brand new blood covenant. Yahusha fulfilled the shadow teaching of the tabernacle and the feast as prophesied. And he said all these shadows will now be culminated in what I will plan in your body through a divine operation. Yahusha said your body is now the temple where I will dwell. Yahusha said he would give us a new spirit, a new heart, and would wash us clean from the sin with his own blood. He would write his words and instructions on our new circumcised heart. Then he promised he would come into us by his spirit and dwell with us, opening a divine portal where we can enter boldly to communicate with him. How miraculous is this? This is the final plan of Yahusha, who is Yahuah, in these last days. This is the good news. We are set free from sin, made clean to able to praise and worship him in spirit and truth, which brings the power of Yahusha. He will bless those willing to walk the real path of true sacrifice by surrendering our lives to him as he did for us. This is the true meaning of sacrifice, daily offering up good works in the Spirit. This is the true meaning of the combination of Yahusha's plan, sacrifice and praise being offered up in his temple, our body, day and night as a sweet-smelling fragrance to Yahusha. All it takes is to be a genuine candidate, otherwise nothing will happen. 1 Corinthians 6. Or do you not know that your body is the temple of the set-apart Spirit who is in you, which you have from Yahusha, and you are not your own, for you were bought with a price. Therefore praise and worship Yahusha in your body and in your new spirit, which are Yahusha. Wow, isn't that amazing, brothers and sisters? I feel so much better now that I've been immersed. I don't feel so angry, because Yahusha's given me the power to say no to the demons and to learn how to behave good. So you should too. I love you all. Bye.